made of dead man's fat. On All Hallows Eve, when the moon is round, a virgin will summon us from under the ground. Come on, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. What am I even doing? I'm not even a virgin. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Kellen with K&T Do Halloween. Sorry for the corny intro, but let me know in the comments below if you know what movie that dialogue is from. It's one of my favorites and it's pretty obvious. I wanted to show you guys today a product that I've been messing around with for a couple of years, and I love going on YouTube and finding how people use conventional products in unconventional ways. So, shout out to Gina at Hollywood Haunter. In my head, she is my foggy sister from another mister, so girl, this one's for you. What I have is a reptile fogger. So anybody who's had a snake or frogs, not a snake, but frogs, lizards, things like that, who need to adjust the humidity in their terrariums or tanks has probably seen something like this. It works sort of like an ultrasonic mister. The only difference is this has tubes and a fan that help you direct the mist. This is the Oil Bow Reptile Humidifier from Amazon. Now, we've been using this in several different props throughout our display. I've used it around candles to just kind of have that wispy smoke. I've also used it in tombstones that kind of transform and erupt into brimstone and fire, and things like this, which are, I guess, a flaming urn. I'm kind of obsessed with fire effects. If you've seen our display, you would know that I am really keen on three things. One, I love making things super complicated. If I want it to do one thing, I'll make sure it does 3 or 4 things. 2, I love fog and atmospheric effects. Anywhere I can put machines, fog machines, anything like that, I'll do it. And the third would be lighting. I have an unhealthy addiction to both fog machines and lighting, and my husband can attest that I have way too many of each, but it is what it is. So what I have here is a reptile fogger, as I said. This is the water tank reservoir. This is the base where it has one of those ultrasonic misting discs, and it also has a fan and a water sensor. 4 big reasons why I like this over a fog machine. 1, it runs on water. I don't have to run out and get fog machine. 2, it runs off of an analog and a manual switch, which means I can operate it off of things like DMX, controllable dimmer devices, or I can also run it off of things like motion sensors, which would be really cool for any magical or Harry Potter type themes where you want to have kids wave their hands and have something start to smoke, which I think is really cool. Third, it's adjustable. There's a knob on the base, and when I turn it on and off, no matter where I set it, it always goes back to that setting. So this is at about 50%. You can dial it way up or turn it way down depending on what you're trying to do. All you do is set this on top. It also comes with a splitter. I love this because you can actually direct the fog into 2 areas. If you follow our channel, you would know last year we built a fiber optic sign and it got struck by lightning and it had mist that kind of erupted out of the crack before the sign actually lit up. This is how we did that, controlled into our DMX devices, which that just means we control it to music with our show. It comes with 2 tubes that you can put to the top and run through your props. These are flexible as well. I will say, using a different tube changes up the output. These tubes, I believe, are designed to have the ridges inside, so it slows down the airflow and it actually condenses the fog to be thicker. You put these on the top, and I want to turn this on before so you guys can see what it looks like. This is the lowest setting. It just kind of puffs out. This is the 50% setting. And then this is the full-blown setting. And then once you add the splitter on top, you have this awesome effect that you can hide in cauldrons, burst steam pipes, tombstones, really anything you can imagine. And it runs off of water. Now I'm going to show you guys the inside of the urn, just to show you what sort of lighting that I used inside to create this fire effect, and then I'll flip it around and show you the back side of the tombstone to show you how I plumbed and wired everything to help you guys at home on any of your projects. Maybe you guys are inspired by this, and I really love using this item, so let's check it out. All right, now before I show you the inside with all the lights and guts, I want to show you the motion sensor and also the control settings to where you can dial the mist down low or high. I have it set right now to about 50%. You can see I've hooked it up to a motion sensor that wires down here to the back with the lights, and it ticks on. I'm going to turn it now down. This is the lowest setting. I use this with our columns for almost a candle smoke that kind of wisps off. It really adds an extra element when you have the flickering candles and the smoke that kind of whispers off. Also, by attaching it to a motion sensor, it was a fun accident we had last year where we did this so we weren't running the machines all the time, but when people approached the display, it kicked on the mist, and it actually was a really creepy effect, so it worked out. Now I'm going to turn it up to about 50%, which is typically what I use it at when I'm trying to simulate something like a flame. Now, if you're using something like a cauldron, you can turn it up to full blast. What that's going to do is create much more of a billowing and pooling effect if you're using a cauldron or an urn or anything like that. Love it. Now let's take a look at the inside. I've turned the mister off, but you can see I have 3 different LED lights with a larger cluster of orange lights in the back. These spotlight LEDs are single node. They run off of 12 volt low voltage, and they really highlight that smoke when pointed up in a triangle fashion. Now this cluster back here is a bunch of orange LEDs. That gives the base tone to the smoke. This is a little bit of a magician's trick in smoke and mirrors to get it to look more effective, but you'll see this piece of cardboard that I have here blocking some of the light. What that does is it helps create a black background for the smoke to reflect off of. Keep in mind, fog and smoke are always best lit from below, behind, or from the sides. Anytime you light fog from the front, it's going to flatten it out completely. Also down here, you can see where I drilled holes through the center. Another part of this illusion is definitely hiding all of the inner guts and working. You can see the 2 pipes coming from the mist machine, and then I anchored my LEDs with hot glue, but from the front I put 3-inch screws coming from the bottom, and that helped me zip tie these lights in place so I could make sure that I liked the arrangement before I made it permanent. Now I'm going to have the mist turn on so you can guys see where it comes out from the center. And it really creates, in my opinion, this super nice faux fire smoke effect. Now, from the back, you can see how this is plumbed. So I'm holding the camera, so please forgive me for the shaky, but I drilled down through the center, through the foam, and you can see where the 2 tubes lead into the mister, which is protected a little bit from the water, as well as has access so I can take the tube out and refill this. Typically, if I'm running it at full tilt, I can get about 2 or 3 days running it about 3 hours a night before I have to refill it. I go around with a 5-gallon bucket and a battery operated, I guess it's for filling kerosene heaters, and I just flip them over, fill them with water, put them back, and let them go. They also have an auto shutoff, so if they do run out of water, this green light on the front will turn red, and then you know to fill them, but it won't burn them out. Also back here, I have wired up the separate flicker controllers that I got off of LED that control all of the LEDs that are uplighting this smoke effect in the urn. And then again, it's plumbed down. The reason that it's set up like this was, it started with the original concept was I wanted to create a tombstone to house our pneumatic skeleton jumper, which is right here and has to be able to move. So I had to situate the fog off to the side, but the fog will act as the eye candy with the motion sensor when people walk past, so they're looking at this, and then the pneumatic skeleton will jump up and scare them in the face. It's all about having the eye candy and then the scare. Fog. What more do you need? I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the Oil Bow Reptile Humidifier. I've really enjoyed incorporating it into our tombstones and props for creating candle effects, smoke effects, really anything. I'll leave links below if you guys want to pick one up and try it out at your own home haunt or any of your displays. And remember, if you create it, they will come. Thanks for watching, y'all.